Insurance premiums will remain subdued this year, with a recovery likely to begin in 2010. That's according to a new report by International Financial Services London, or IFSL as they're called as well. The group also says that the sector fell by 18% last year to just over £215 billion as the economic slowdown hit long-term premiums. For more on that, we're joined by Marko Maslakovic, a senior economist from the IFSL. Marko, welcome.
Thank you.
So this is an annual research report into the UK insurance sector that you put out.
Yeah.
In your own words, what were the main findings of this report?
Okay, well, what this economic downturn of the past 2 years has shown is that, for the most part, the insurance sector, both in the UK and internationally, is well capitalized. And the insurance sector actually, in a way, acted as a stabilizing factor in very turbulent market conditions.
How?
Insurance companies, they did experience, actually they were affected by the economic downturn in two ways. On the asset side, they saw a decline in investment returns, and on the liability side, there was an increase in claims.
Okay.
However, they are a long-term investor due to the nature of the industry, so they could very well sit on these losses. They didn't have to realize these positions. Also, they have a regular stream of new premiums coming in. They're not faced with the threat of investors pulling their money out of these funds due to the nature of the funds. They're not as leveraged as some of the other categories of investors. And, for example, they're very well diversified, and less than 1% of insurance companies' assets globally were invested in subprime-related securities. So in this way, they acted as a stabilizing factor.
So you're saying that even if there were losses on some of these insurance companies' books, that they could kind of wind them down as we go along? It doesn't have to happen all at once.
Yeah, I mean, they could renew these positions. They could keep them going until the markets bounce back. So they didn't contribute to the falls that we saw last year. Okay.
I see that also occupational pension premiums saw the biggest decline, followed by life insurance after that. I mean, the declines that we're talking about here, are these declines that are going to be reversed in 2010, do you think? I mean, or start to be reversed?
Well, the UK insurance industry as a whole saw a decline of some 18% in premium income in 2008. And as you say, this was led by long-term insurance premiums, particularly occupational pensions and life insurance premiums. By nature, long-term insurance premiums are more subject to economic downturns. People are less likely to invest in these products, and they're more likely to save their money. However, on the other hand, the general insurance premiums are less affected because these, for example, have more regular premiums, such as motor insurance, for example.
Yeah.
And general insurance actually increased by 8% in 2008.
Okay.
But
Ellen,
do you think there's a possibility that the pension amounts that have been paid in have been so high over the last 3 or 4 years because of the 8A reforms that it's so much easier to put large sums of money in your pension pot?
Yeah.
Do you think that as we go into a downturn next year, A, because it's cyclical, the first thing people will withdraw from paying in are pension contributions, and secondly, the last 3 years are really just an anomaly in the system because of those reforms, and as a result, we're going to see further declines, therefore, in the coming years?
Well, that's very possible. Long-term insurance premiums did grow at a particularly high rate in the last 2 years, and that's partly due to pensions premiums. So in a way, we may have seen this decline even if it wasn't for the economic downturn. And for example, data for the first 9 months of 2009 shows a continuation of the decline in occupational pension premiums and life insurance premiums by some 35% on the same period last year. So this is likely to be another sluggish year for the insurance industry in terms of new premiums coming in. But on the other hand, equity markets have bounced back, so they should see a recovery in their assets under management. So this will help the industry.
Marko, thank you very much. Marko Maslakovic, senior economist from the IFSL.